Day in the life of teacher. Hello, everyone. My name is Mr. Sam, and I am a high school teacher. Every day, I walk into my classroom filled with dreams and aspirations, ready to teach my students about the world. I believe that education is the key to transforming lives. It is not just about textbooks and exams. It's about inspiring young minds to think critically, dream big, and strive for a better future. I've been teaching for over a decade, and I have always found joy in shaping the lives of my students. But little did I know that one ordinary day would change everything for me. The sun was just rising, casting a warm glow over the school grounds. I parked my old car in the lot and took a moment to breathe in the crisp morning air. The smell of fresh grass and blooming flowers filled my senses. As I walked toward the entrance, I greeted the janitor, Mr. Patel, who was already busy cleaning the floors. Good morning, Mr. Patel. Looks like it's going to be a beautiful day, I said with a smile. Good morning, Mr. Sam. Yes, indeed. Just like the students, we have to make sure this place shines bright. He replied with a hearty chuckle. I entered the school building, my heart filled with excitement. Today was not just another day, it was the day I had planned to introduce a new project that I believed would spark creativity in my students. As I walked into my classroom, I was greeted by the familiar sight of desks ranged in neat rows and colorful posters hanging on the walls. I took a moment to reflect on the many discussions and laughter that had filled this space over the years. Good morning, class. I called out cheerfully as my students settled in. Good morning, Mr. Sam. They replied in unison, their voices echoing with youthful energy. I started the day with a fun icebreaker activity, encouraging everyone to share their favorite book. As the students spoke, I couldn't help but feel proud of their diverse interests and opinions. They were not just learning, they were growing into thoughtful individuals. Just as I was about to introduce the new project, the principal, Mrs. Kaur, walked in with a serious expression on her face. The classroom fell silent as she cleared her throat. Students, I have an important announcement, she said, her voice steady but grave. Due to budget cuts, we will have to let go of several teachers at the end of this term, including some of your favorites. A collective gasp filled the room. My heart sank as I looked around at my students. They were visibly shaken, and I felt an overwhelming sense of responsibility for their emotions. Mr. Sam, Are you going to be one of the teachers who gets fired? Asked Aisha, a bright student known for her artistic talents. I don't know yet, Aisha. But what I do know is that we have a few months left together, and I want to make them the best they can be, I replied, trying to remain optimistic. As the class continued, students began to voice their fears and frustrations. Some were worried about the impact of losing their favorite teachers, while others expressed anger at the administration for making such drastic cuts. Education is supposed to empower us, not take away our teachers, shouted Rowan, a passionate student who often advocated for change. That afternoon, I sat in my classroom, reflecting on the day's events. The weight of the situation pressed heavily on my chest. I could not sit idly by while my students faced uncertainty. I need to do something, I thought. I can't let them lose hope. I decided to organize a meeting with the students to brainstorm ways to voice their concerns. With the help of Aisha, Rowan, and a few others, we created posters and planned a peaceful protest to advocate for our teachers. The following week, our protest took place outside the school. Students gathered, holding colorful signs with messages like "Save our teachers" and "Education matters." The energy was electric, and I felt a renewed sense of purpose. As I stood at the front, I addressed the crowd. Today, we stand together for our education and our teachers. We will not be silenced. Our voices matter. The passion of my students inspired me, and I realized that this was about more than just keeping our teachers. It was about standing up for what we believe in. After the protest, Mrs. Kaur called an emergency meeting with the staff. I was nervous but hopeful. I wanted to convey our students' passion and commitment to their education. As I presented our case, I could see in ours. Kaur's expression shift from skepticism to understanding. She acknowledged the students' concerns and promised to look for alternative solutions. Days turned into weeks, and the situation began to evolve. With the support of the community and parents, we organized a fundraiser to help the school's budget. I watched as my students took charge, leading initiatives and inspiring others to get involved. I can't believe how much we've accomplished together, I said to Rowan and Aisha one afternoon as we counted the donations. We did this for our future, Mr. Sam. And we won't stop until every teacher is safe. Rowan replied, determination shining in his eyes. Just when we thought we were making progress, I received an unexpected phone call from a local news station. They wanted to cover our story. Excitement filled the air. but I also felt anxious about being in the spotlight. On the day of the interview, as we stood in front of the cameras, I shared our journey and the importance of education. Suddenly, as we were wrapping up, a woman approached us from the crowd. "Mr. Sam," she called out, and I turned to face her. My heart raced as I recognized her. She was a former student of mine, Maya, who had moved away years ago. Maya looked different. There was a maturity about her. "Mr. Sam, I need to talk to you. It's important." I stepped away from the cameras, curiosity piqued. "What's going on, Maya?" "I've come to tell you something shocking about the school's budget cuts. I have proof that it's not just financial reasons. There's a conspiracy behind it," she said, her voice trembling. My mind raced. What could she mean? I had to know more. That evening, Maya shared her findings with me. She had been researching the school's finances and discovered irregularities that suggested someone was intentionally mismanaging funds. "Mr. Sam, this isn't just about losing teachers. It's about corruption," she said passionately. I felt a surge of anger and determination. We had to expose this. For my students, for the school, and for the truth. With Maya's help, we gathered evidence and planned to take our findings to the school board. I rallied my students once more, igniting their passion for justice and truth. This isn't just about us anymore. It's about our community, I declared during one of our meetings. The energy in the room was palpable. The day of the school board meeting arrived, and I felt a mix of excitement and fear. We presented our case, laying out the evidence we had uncovered. The room was silent, and the board members exchanged glances. Finally, one board member spoke up. "If what you're saying is true, we need to investigate this immediately. Thank you for bringing this to our attention." As the investigation unfolded, the truth slowly came to light. The school board found evidence of embezzlement and mismanagement that led to the budget cuts. The community rallied behind us, and the support was overwhelming. "I can't believe this is happening," Aisha said, tears of joy in her eyes. "We did it, Mr. Sam." "Yes, we did. And it's all thanks to your hard work and determination," I replied, feeling a deep sense of pride for my students. The investigation led to significant changes within the school administration. New leadership was brought in, and they committed to ensuring the school's budget was used to benefit the students and teachers. I felt a sense of relief wash over me. The threat of losing my job and the uncertainty for my students had vanished. We had fought for our education, and we had won. In the months that followed, I reflected on the journey we had taken together. My students had grown in ways I had never imagined. They had become advocates for their education, and I had witnessed their transformation into leaders. Mr. Sam, I never thought we could make such a big difference, Rowan said one day as we cleaned up after a school event. It's not just about me, it's about all of you. You showed incredible strength and determination, I replied, feeling grateful for their enthusiasm. As the school year came to a close, I realized that this experience had reinforced my belief in the power of education. It wasn't just about textbooks and exams. It was about creating a community that supports and uplifts each other. Education is a tool, but it's what we do with it that truly matters, I told my students during our final class together. They nodded, understanding that they had become a part of something bigger than themselves. As the summer approached, I was excited to plan for the upcoming school year. I wanted to create new programs that would further engage my students and encourage their creativity. We're going to make this the best year yet, I declared, and the classroom erupted in cheers. With the changes in administration, I felt a renewed sense of hope for the future of our school. I knew that together, we could overcome any obstacle. Remember, the journey doesn't end here, I reminded my students. It's just the beginning of new adventures. As I stood in front of my classroom, looking at the bright faces of my students, I felt a deep sense of fulfillment. I had witnessed their growth, their struggles, and their triumphs. Thank you, Mr. Sam, for believing in us, Aisha said, a smile lighting up her face. And in that moment, I realized that being a teacher was not just about imparting knowledge. It was about inspiring a generation to believe in themselves and their ability to create change. Thank you for believing in each other, I replied, knowing that our journey would continue beyond the classroom.